Well, welcome everyone, and good morning to you. I'm delighted to kick off this news conference and to start talking about the legacy of Coach Frank Broyles. Growing up in the hills of Northwest Arkansas, I've been a Razorback fan since birth, but what is even more significant is I can see my dad today cheering for the Razorbacks, and you aren't offended by this, but every once in a while cussing Coach Broyles, but loving Coach Broyles at the same time. That's what we do as football coaches. But we're fans, and to see Coach Broyles through my lifetime and through other generations, seeing his success on the football field, his success as an athletic director, but also his extraordinary contributions in supporting Alzheimer caregivers and recognizing that need and showing a commitment not just for the sake of football, but for the cause of supporting those who are struggling with Alzheimer's. And so I have incredible admiration for Coach Broyles and his legacy. And I also wanted to recognize David Basil, who is here, who created the Broyles Award. And this award that goes to the top assistant coach in the United States is recognized nationally. It is highly sought after. It has an incredible track record. And it is one of the few national awards that originates in Arkansas and is recognized and identified with this state. So we're very proud of that national award, the Broyles Award. And David, thank you for your leadership on it. Dave Basil has an announcement to make in regard to that, but I just wanted to say as governor that we're, one, proud of Coach Broyles, his legacy in every way, the Broyles family, and then also very proud of this national award for its history, but also its future. And with that, I recognize David Basil.
Thank you, Governor. I really appreciate your leadership in our state. We appreciate the fact that you understand the significance of sports and their impact in our community, that you recognize the significance of Frank Broyles. I've had the chance to be in this room on a couple of occasions. One was with Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was chairman of the President's Council on Fitness, and I was chairman of the Governor's Council on Fitness. And the last time was when Governor Huckabee and Lieutenant Governor Kathleen Blanco unveiled the boot, which has now become, it was actually 20 years ago this year. And so I'm honored that you recognize the importance of what we're doing here today, because it is about history. Some may not know, but there are only about 30 national awards of this type across the country. And there's some, you look at the Heisman, 1935. So what we're doing today is talking about, not today, but maybe 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when this award is 50 years old. The Vince Lombardi Award is 46 years old. Jim Thorpe, others. And Coach Broyles' name deserves to be in that group. If you had to create a Mount Rushmore of people in this state who've had big impact in the history, I think you could say maybe a former president, Bill Clinton, you could go Sam Walton, and I think we could all agree that Frank Broyles should be on that list. I was fortunate enough to be a young kid from Panama City, Florida, to come to Arkansas not knowing anything about anybody in this state. Played a few years of football, got out of Fayetteville, came to Little Rock, and was looking where I might could create an award for a local organization here in town, Governor, and started looking at the career of Frank Broyles and found out that his history of developing assistant coaches was unparalleled. His assistants went on to win 5 national championships as head coaches, 2,000 victories. They won 6 Super Bowls and 8 tries in a 14-year span. You look at the names: Jimmy Johnson, Joe Gibbs, Hayden Fry, just to name a few, Barry Switzer. And so it was a natural fit for his name to be on this trophy. And you think about this, in 1996, Governor, our first winner was Mickey Andrews of Florida State. And at that particular meeting, we had our selection committee that came to Little Rock. Bo Schembechler, Darrell Royal, Grant Teff, all those guys came into town, some of them not with us anymore, to honor Coach Broyles. And it's amazing what the trophy now has become. As the governor alluded to, it's become something that every assistant wants to win. Just to make a comparison, Mickey Andrews' salary in 1996, I believe, was $150,000. Right now, the last 6 winners of the Broyles Award have averaged a salary increase after winning this of $400,000. And that is just the increase. 55% of all the Broyles Award finalists and winners that have come to Little Rock have become head coaches, 55%. Currently, right now, almost 20% of all Division I head coaches were Broyles Award finalists or winners, almost 20%. And one of these is even in the NFL, Dan Quinn of the Atlanta Falcons. So obviously this award has become something that so many coaches want to win. They come to town, they learn about Arkansas, they all come to Little Rock, they learn about the history of Frank Broyles, and I think that's something I think the governor recognizes that we want to ensure goes on forever. And as I've gotten older, Governor, I've learned I need to think about the future. When I was younger, I didn't, but now I do. And so what happened recently was with the passage of the Broyles Publicity Rights Bill, it got me to thinking about the protection of Coach Broyles' name, his image, his award, his legacy. And I thought I'd had a chance to work with Betsy and Molly with the foundation and their mission, and this was Coach's second legacy, dealing with caregivers, because what he went through with his wife, Barbara, his first wife, Barbara. And it was such a great, passionate thing that they're doing. I thought, you know what, it's time that the award be placed in the right hands. And I thought not only would it be an opportunity to have the family take ownership of this award and have it for future decades, but also be used as a vehicle to raise money for a wonderful cause. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And we're very excited about it. There are people in this room that have helped this award grow to what it is. I get a lot of the attention for it, Governor, but Coach Broyles' right-hand man was Orville Henry. I had Wally Hall to be my Orville Henry. And, I think of support that Wally has given me over the years to help promote this, and it has become something of national fame. And Dane Calling of the communication group, who was here day one, and then the Rotary Club, Governor, they've helped take this award to another level. And Jeff Hildebrand and some of the other great folks here at Rotary have positioned this thing to even go better. And the great thing about Molly and Betsy, you'll hear, they're very fired up, they're very energetic. It's great to have them on the team, and I'm very honored to have them there today. And I'm going to introduce both of them now, and then afterwards I'm going to come back up real quickly and add to our selection committee. As you can see right now, we have a Hall of Fame selection committee, and it's going to be even more impressive after we announce our new additions. So first, let me introduce the daughter of Frank Broyles. She also is the CEO of the Broyles Foundation, Betsy Broyles Arnold.
Thank you, David. This is an exciting and emotional day for me. We are truly humbled to be standing up here with David today. My dad is sorry he couldn't be here, but he's 91 and he's just not traveling as much as he was in the past. I have been coming to the Broyles Award for the last 20 years. But my experience with the assistant coaches started well before that. I was a tomboy, and I spent a lot of time with my dad during the week and in the summers. Having quality assistant coaches is extremely important to every coach. My dad always, I'm sorry, I'm emotional. I'm trying not to cry. This is a big deal. But Dad always wanted them to follow their dreams, to be head coaches. He encouraged them. He was very passionate about them becoming head coaches. Why did he do that? Because he's been in their shoes and he wanted to be a head coach too. I'm so proud of the Broyles Award and what it has accomplished for the assistant coaches, the salary increases, the recognition of their contribution to the overall team and their record, and the impact that their mentorship has on the players. My mother loved this award. We would come down every year as a family, so I have lots of memories with her coming down here. We would sit and listen to the assistant coaches and their stories and cry because they're so passionate about what they do and how they help their players. This award has provided an opportunity for national recognition to the state of Arkansas that we all love so much. My dad is my hero and always will be. We are honored to be part of this award, and honestly, I will cherish it the rest of my life. Thank you.
and the vice president of the Broyles Foundation. And I love the personality differences and similarities between mother and daughter. Molly Arnold-Gay is a busy bee, hard worker, and very passionate about what this award can do to raise the profile of this foundation and its mission. So please welcome her now, Molly Arnold-Gay.
Thank you, David. A big part of why we are here today is the game of football. The coaches that this award represent, they spend hours watching game film and doing drills at practice. They're making halftime adjustments during the game. Oftentimes they have to send in a backup. They're preparing their secondary when necessary. During the off season, they get to spend time with their family. They get a little bit of time to rest. They're recruiting new players to help strengthen their team. The other reason that we're here is my grandmother, Barbara Broyles. And like my mom said, she loved football. Well, she also had Alzheimer's disease. And at the age of 75, for the first time, my grandfather, Coach Frank Broyles, found himself in a game that he couldn't defeat. It's a game that you can't practice for. There are no recruiting seasons or film to watch. There is no secondary. You don't get a chance to put in a backup quarterback. This game starts when you're completely unprepared for it. You don't even understand the rules. You don't get a halftime. For football coaches, when you practice, your hope is that when the clock ticks to 0, you can confidently say that you and your team did everything you could to defeat your opponent. But for caregivers, it's a day-by-day, minute-by-minute struggle. The thought of a well-executed caregiving strategy really seems unattainable. Even though Pop knew he couldn't defeat this opponent, he was going to find a way to win. And winning this game means improving the quality of life for the caregiver and their loved one. I am proud to say that the Frank and Barbara Broyles Foundation is celebrating our 10-year anniversary of creating game plans for caregivers so that they too can win the fight against Alzheimer's. We are honored to be partnering with the Broyles Award so that we can combine my grandpa's 2 legacies. Together, we can reach farther and change more lives than we ever could apart. We would really like to thank everyone who has been involved the last 20 years, especially the members of the Little Rock Rotary Club, who have done a wonderful job protecting my family's legacy, and David Basil, who has had the vision of what the next 20 years can look like. I would now like to welcome David back to the podium for one last announcement. Thank you very much.
Speaking of Rotary, I did want to acknowledge Greg Hatcher and Andrew Metters, who were very instrumental in taking the Broyles Award to the Rotary Club, where it has been so successful the last 13 years. Governor, we are turning the page to the next chapter, the next 10 years, the next 20 years, and we should take pride in this award. Other states take pride in their Doak Walker Award, and I hope we will continue to do this, just like we do the Burlsworth Trophy now. Or the Cliff Harris Award. But as you'll see to my left, these are the 10 current members of the Broyles Award Selection Committee. All are Hall of Fame, College Football Hall of Fame members except for one, and he will be at some point, Mac Brown from Texas, and he's been so thrilled to be a part of this committee. But I felt we need to continue to add to our selection committee. So ladies, if you'll unveil that, we'll talk about real quickly, we'll talk about the new members of the selection committee. And you go ahead and pull it. And I think you will recognize most of these faces. We start at the top with Lou Holtz from Notre Dame and Arkansas, national championship, of course, at Notre Dame. To the left, John Robinson won a national championship at USC, coached the LA Rams. To the right, R.C. Slocum, Mr. Texas A&M Aggie, the all-time winningest coach at Texas A&M. He's a College Football Hall of Famer. Mike Bellotti, who pretty much put Oregon on the map, 20-year coach there, College Football Hall of Famer. Jim Donnan to the right, head coach at Georgia, won a national championship at Marshall. He's a College Football Hall of Famer. Down at the bottom, Pat Dye, who used to beat Bear Bryant on occasion, multiple SEC champion. He's the College Football Hall of Famer. And the two most recent retirees, Gary Pinkel, the all-time most winningest coach at both Missouri and Toledo, and Frank Beamer, who I believe has won over 234 games in his career. Both of those guys will be in the College Football Hall of Fame. So altogether, Governor, of the 18 selection committee members, 15 are in the College Football Hall of Fame. They've won as a combined 3,493 games, almost 3,500 games, 276 bowl appearances, 98 conference championships, and 14 national championships. So that is a selection committee unparalleled by any means, and they're all thrilled because they all know the significance of Coach Broyles' contribution, and they know the importance of the assistant coach. And I do want to thank everybody here, the governor, your support, and we look forward to working together with the foundation to both continue to honor the great assistants, honor Coach Broyles' two legacies, his coaching and his vision for caregivers. So without further ado, that is it. Thank you for being here, Governor. Anything else you need to say?
You didn't mention my socks.
Razorback socks. There we go.
That's in honor of Coach Broyles today. Thank you very much, David. Thank you, Molly. Appreciate it, Betsy. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor. That's great. That's awesome. Let's do a picture of Governor around the